I think a god warned me of death. I woke up the other morning pretty pissed. A letter about code enforcement from the county bitching about my yard. The land has grown steep in parts, and in my attempt to mitigate damage done by previous owners, I ended up with a mound of debris that likes to grow weeds as well. I called them. Take down the weeds, they say. They will work with me on the debris. I cannot seem to keep a string trimmer. I am less affluent than my neighbours, and can only seem to afford weaker electric ones, and their batteries, or really any part of them, dies within the year. So I decided to look into unconventional methods, and found how I might to take up scything. I did a lot of research and romanticized the idea of restoring a 100-year-old American scythe like the men doing so on YouTube. I immediately, late at night, searched up anybody selling some locally on Marketplace. A man was selling two, for very cheap, very nearby. I messaged him and worked out the purchase. I fell asleep thinking of restoring the old instrument. I felt calm. In my dream I was bowing before three figures. One, a female who was peeling a fruit that looked like a honeycomb full with red droplets of blood. One, a naked male with what looked like a Viking helmet and a long golden horn in one hand. The last figure I could not make out, just a scruffy, charcoal-like image on the edge of a shadow. I wept when I saw the second figure, begging him to interject on my behalf. I seemed to have entered the dream mid-conversation. The two other figures looked to him, the woman looking on me with an almost doting expression of pity. The shadowy figure seemed to be whispering to them both in a language I did not know. Both the helmeted man and the woman nodded to it. The woman looked on me with a charitable sort of smile. "You will have to give some token of your appreciation later," she says. Then there is a conversation I still do not remember. And I wake up. I forget the dream. I am 34. I have several children. My two older kids want to go get the scythes with me. We hop in the car and I drive around, getting tools to use in the restoration. The man lives in a remote part of the next county over. It takes a while to find his house. He is waiting in his driveway. When I pull up, I immediately start feeling dread. I can't figure out why. He seems like a nice guy. Yet I feel something is off. I do some meditative breathing and calm down. I get out. He tells me where he got them, and we talk a little. As soon as I pick up and hold one, I feel a brief moment of shock, like in my legs and arms. I insist on ignoring the stupid feelings. I dismiss it as me being reclusive and not feeling social today. After putting the scythes in the hatch of the van, I come around to the driver's side and stop dead. The man is standing there with a piece of paper in his hand. It's $1 million question, he says. It's some kind of religious pamphlet on a fake $1 million bill. The man talks for a moment about death, about how we aren't going to be here forever, about how Jesus Christ is the only thing that will keep our souls from going to hell. The whole thing redoubles the dread I feel. I'm very polite and talk my way back into my car, feeling the dread mount more and more as I drive. We stop at a light after an on-ramp. I'm coming off an interstate, turning left onto an intersecting highway. I try to breathe, feeling very sick. While the light is red, I for some reason decide to turn on some music. Maybe it will calm me down. I get the urge to fiddle with Spotify on my radio screen. I hear a loud beep. The light is green. I hesitate only a split second and then I start going. Suddenly, a vehicle goes screaming in front of me. A red and white pickup truck. Has to be going 55 if not 65. It's a blur, basically, even if I do make some of it out. I screech to a halt and then, once the truck clears, complete my turn and immediately pull into the nearest parking lot, which turns out to be a bank. My kids didn't even notice. Nobody seems to have appreciated but me how close we were to serious trouble. As background. Skeeters in pickup trucks are a real pain here. They drive like dickheads. They are stereotypical as hell. And often I find that they instigate road trouble a lot. I don't know what it is about this area, but they seem to be way more prevalent than anywhere else. Of course, my reaction is rage. I wish I could have found this idiot who ran a red light and almost killed me and my kids. We were feet from a rather brutal collision. I am exhausted by the time I get home. I disassemble the scythes and put the metal parts in a rust solution. I think about taking a nap, and that is when the dream comes back to me. I remember the figures. And in my waking mind, I have theories on who they are. I do read a lot of old Greek poetry and philosophy, so it could just be a coincidence. However, If 3 Greek gods were indeed discussing my fate in a dream, and one decided to intervene on my behalf, thanks a lot. I will find some token of appreciation to give.